Hello guys, welcome back to another video. It's me, Aviation Aiden, and today we're going to be looking at NG Models future November 2023 releases. Now if you're wondering, if I do end up rushing this video and you're wondering why, it's actually because next week I'm going on vacation to Punta Cana in Dominican Republic. I'm very excited, so I will be doing a flight video and a flight review kind of video, stuff like that. But I'm really excited to go to Dominican Republic. I am flying Sunwing on a 737-8, so I'm really excited for that. But anyways, let's go ahead and let's get started with the video. Starting off here, we have a Norse Atlantic Airways Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner. This guy looks very, very good. I know NG Models hasn't done a Norse release in a pretty long while. So this is actually pretty good for the November releases, because this will come out more so end of November, so it will come out more so Christmas time, December area, which would be a good addition to a model airport, especially if you're doing a European airport or European-based airport. I would recommend getting this plane model. It's actually very nice. I like their blue livery, their blue kind of color scheme on the 787-9. Not to mention, the 787 is one of my favorite aircrafts. I do primarily like the 787-10 because it's a bit more longer than the -9 and -8. But it's still a pretty good aircraft. This I actually would recommend to get, and it's actually really good. So this is a pretty good first release. Now moving on to our second release, here we have the Shanghai Airlines Boeing 737-800. This guy looks very nice. Apparently Shanghai Airlines is a part of SkyTeam, the SkyTeam Alliance. This aircraft honestly looks very good. I do like their gray, black and blue type of theme they went for. It honestly does look really good. One thing I did realize on this aircraft is the 737-800 is missing its winglets. It kind of, I mean, you won't really notice it, but it looks pretty cool, honestly. But it's honestly a very good aircraft. I'm not gonna lie, it's not bad or anything. It actually looks very good, and I would suggest it if you're doing a Asian related or more so Chinese focused on airport. I would recommend this model. Next, moving on to the third release, we have another Shanghai Airlines, a Boeing 737-800. This guy is in the IKB livery. Now this one actually does look way much more better than the regular color scheme. I do like the flowers added onto the aircraft. It gives it a bit more contrast, and it makes the aircraft just look a bit more better and a bit more decorative or decorated. It honestly looks pretty good. Especially the pink writing in what I'm assuming is in Chinese or Mandarin over there, right there. But it does look pretty good. I would recommend this aircraft over the regular livery because the flowers just add a bit more, just add a bit more decoration to the aircraft and the livery. Now moving on to this Qantas Airways 747SP and the mid-1980s livery with the Australian airline titles, named City of Taralong. This guy looks actually very nice. Qantas's livery does look the same as their modern livery. If you do a little comparison, it does look the same. It's more so just the titles. If you look at the modern Qantas color scheme, is usually the it usually says the Spirit of Australia. But as you can tell here, it says the Australian airline, but it still does look very nice. I would recommend this if you're trying to get retro models, as this is the 747SP, and it is a famous, a classic, and iconic retro model. But this guy looks very good, and I would suggest you get it, especially if you're into retro aviation and retro aircraft models. Now moving on to this Aerogal 757-200. This airline, I'm not really familiar with it. I mean, it sounds pretty familiar. I'm pretty sure it's a South American airline. Probably Colombian or Ecuadorian, one of those. But their color scheme is not the greatest, but it's also not the worst. I do kind of like the bird design they went up with that, and the I do like the blue, the darkish kind of blue color they used. It is pretty good. It wouldn't be that much of a big purchase if you do get it. It wouldn't be that big of a thing. It wouldn't really, make anything look special or make anything look better. But it's not bad. Some people might actually purchase this. It actually doesn't look bad though. It's pretty good. Personally, I'd say I wouldn't really recommend it as it is kind of blank. There's not really much design to it. But I mean, if you're doing a South American based airport, then you would obviously want to get an airline that comes from a South American country. Now moving on to this Turkish 777-300ER. This guy is in the old Turkish airline color scheme. If you could tell, you can look at the tail. There usually should be another small outer white circle around the logo. So yeah, that is the older color scheme. This one honestly is not bad. I was kind of hoping, I was kind of excited when I saw it, but then I saw it was the old color scheme. Because I was looking for the newer color scheme, because as I said in many videos, I want to do a Toronto Pearson Airport update. And considering that Turkish flies their 777-300ERs to Pearson, I would have thought it would be a good model to get. But it was in the old color scheme, and the old color scheme sadly does not fly here. But it's still a good aircraft. I mean, I still would purchase it, but there are aircraft I would prefer over it. But this is actually still a very good aircraft. In general, the 777, especially the 333, is a very good aircraft model. So I would suggest it. Any 777 you try to get, you should definitely get it. But yeah, this is a very nice aircraft, and I honestly wouldn't recommend it. Sorry, I would recommend it. It's not bad. It's actually very, very nice. So I would recommend this model. Now moving on to this Zip Air Tokyo 787-8 Dreamliner. This guy is with the old color scheme with the Z on the tail. Usually the Zip Air does not have the Z on the tail, but for the old color scheme, and for this livery, it does have a Z on the tail, which is pretty nice. I'm not really familiar with the airline Zip Air. I do know it's an airline from Japan. If you couldn't tell from the Tokyo, but I kind of already knew it was from Japan. Considering the registration, they kind of hinted it out. The beginning the beginning two letters, which is Juliet and Alpha, kind of gave it away. This guy's actually not a bad model. I wouldn't really say I'd buy. I mean, I probably would buy it because it does look nice, and I would like some more so Chinese and Asian airlines and model aircrafts. So this is actually not a bad release. This is a pretty good one that I would what am I trying to say? That I would recommend. There's the word. Now moving on to the Zip Air Tokyo 787-8 Dreamliner in the revised interim livery. This is the livery I was talking about. On the tail, they don't have the Z. They have this kind of color pattern with the colors blue, black, and white. And the baby blue teal. Baby blue tail is what I'm trying to say. So as you can tell, that is their current, or more so, modern / new livery. I probably would prefer the new livery. It just looks better. The tail design does honestly kind of look better. So I would prefer this model. But like I said, the Zip Air is not a bad airline and it's also not a bad model. Next up here we have the Love Live Airlines 787-8 Dreamliner in the fantasy livery. One thing I did notice is there is a lot of 787s on the new release list, which honestly isn't bad because, like I said, I love the 787. I do love Boeing in general. Top 3 favorite aircrafts are all Boeing aircraft. The 787 is my first, 777 is my second, and the 737 is my third. But back to the aircraft, this honestly is, I would say, a really amazing aircraft because you have all the different colors. You have the pink, the red, the magenta. You have the blue, orange, light blue, red, gray, pink, yellow, green, purple. So you have all of good colors, and it is always nice to have a nice special livery in your model airport or in your aircraft collection because it just adds a bit more. It just adds a bit more contrast to your collection, and it just looks nicer because it's always nice to have a special livery model. But this is honestly a pretty good model. I'm not familiar with the airline at all, but I definitely would buy it and would recommend it. Now moving on to this Alaska Airlines A320 200. This guy actually looks really good. I do need some Alaska planes. I would say, I probably would get it because Alaska Airlines have retired their A320s and A321s. So to have this model would actually be really, really special. I wasn't going to say I'm not going to buy it because it's not going to be in service. But considering that it's not going to be in service after this model sells out, it's going to be a pretty rare model. And it will eventually become a retro model and will probably get manufactured by Aero Classics. But it's honestly a pretty good aircraft. Like I said in many videos, I love the Alaska Airlines livery. So this is a really, really nice aircraft, and I definitely would recommend it. Now moving on to this Alaska Airlines A320-200 in the Fly with Pride color scheme. I am not buying this model. I will not purchase this model whatsoever. This is not a model I'm getting, and personally, I wouldn't recommend, especially if you are religious. I would not recommend this model. Because of my religion and beliefs, I will not be buying this model, but some people might have different opinions. In my opinion on this model, not really one of the best. Some other people may buy it, but I'm definitely not getting it. Yeah, it's not the best of releases, but it's okay, I guess. Next up here we have the Avianca A320-200 in the Pride color scheme. I also won't be buying this model either. Like I've said before, I wouldn't recommend it if you are religious, and I will not be purchasing this model, and it is not one of the best releases. But like I said, I will not be purchasing this model. Now moving on to this Avianca A320-200. This guy I actually will be purchasing because I do love the airline Avianca and I do love their livery. This guy also operates the Pearson, which is really good, so I could also add this to the Pearson Airport update once I end up doing that. This is a really good model. I would recommend it if you have an South American or more Hispanic themed airport, mainly El Salvadorian themed airport. But yeah, this is a really good model, and I definitely will be purchasing this once it does get released. Now moving on to this Delta Airlines A320-200. I forget what I said before. There are way much more A320s, A320 and A321s on this release list than the 787s. But yeah, so this here is the Delta A320-200. I will be getting this one because this one also flies to Pearson. They fly their A319, their E175s, and their A320s. So I will be getting this guy for the Pearson update. This guy actually looks really nice. I do, like I said, I love Delta's smaller aircrafts and smaller fleet selection in their aircraft fleet, like their Bombardiers, Embraers, smaller Airbus aircrafts, and smaller Boeing aircrafts. And also medium haul Boeing aircrafts. So this is a really good model. I would suggest you get it for mainly any airport you do, because I guarantee you, whatever airport you're working on, Delta probably flies there. Yeah, so this is a really good aircraft model. I would suggest it, and I will be purchasing this one too. Now moving on to this Air Canada Jets A320-200 in the special black livery. Now there's no doubt I'm definitely purchasing this because I love the airline Air Canada. Their livery just looks amazing, especially their modern livery, so their current new livery and their mint livery / old livery. It looks very, very good, and like I said, I would like some more Canadian Airlines and more Air Canada models for my airport. So I definitely will be getting this. It looks very nice. I do like the black. It kind of reminds me of the Air New Zealand All Blacks livery. I will buy those two together probably. I will get the Air New Zealand A320 All Black and the Air Canada in the special black livery. So this is a really good model. I would recommend it 100%, and I will 100% be buying this model. Now moving on to this Alaska Airlines A321neo. This guy honestly is really, really good. I would suggest it, and I honestly would get it. Because like I said, the Alaska Airlines livery just looks so good, especially on their 737. This is a really good aircraft. They actually have retired their A321neos just September 30th. So you should get one because, like I said, the Alaska A321neos will become rare models after they all sell out, and they're probably going to sell out quickly considering Alaska Airlines is a really good airline. Have an amazing livery, have amazing service in real life, and just have amazing aircraft models. And considering this is the last Alaska Airlines have retired all their A321neos, it will sell out really, really fast. This is a really good model, and I would suggest you get it. And I probably will be purchasing this model if I don't purchase the Alaska A320-200. Now moving on to this United Airlines A321neo in the Blue Evolution livery. This is the first, and I mean first ever A321neo for United Airlines. Also the first A321 for United Airlines. So this is honestly will become a really rare livery. The registration for the first A321neo in America, for United Airlines was November 44501, I think. I'm not 100% sure, I think. So yeah, update. I was correct. The registration is November 501. But it is a pretty good aircraft and a really good model. The Evolution Blue on the aircraft and the the United Airlines globe with the baby blue and the gray at the bottom and the very dark blue to follow above it is just very nice, and the livery looks very nice. So I definitely will be getting this model. Now moving on to this Airbus Transport International Airbus Airbus Beluga, or also known as the A330-743L. This is the Airbus Beluga XL. This is actually a really good model. The Airbus Beluga, I would say the Airbus Beluga and Dreamlifter are some aircraft you want to get for your model airport. If it's not a regional airport, if it's like a big airport, I would suggest it. They're really good models. They look weird, but they sell out fast because they're cool cargo models, and lots of people want to purchase them, so they sell out fast, pretty much making them rare. So sometimes these companies will reproduce them and re-release them because it just makes a lot of money. This is a really good model. I would suggest it, and I would buy it because I do have the Dreamlifter already. So I would need the Beluga. Sorry, I do have the Dreamlifter and the Airbus Super Guppy. So I would need the Airbus Beluga for the last, weird or big looking cargo plane. Now moving on to this Airbus Transport International Airbus Beluga XL, or once again A337 43L. This is in the prototype pre-paint livery, so meaning it's still in its metallic metallic colors and metallic metal colors. Just the tail has been painted, so I would probably get this one because it's just really cool having a not yet in production model, so the model is being built. I probably will get both of them, so when I do the stop motion, it kind of like shows the aircraft getting repainted, and then you have the fresh Airbus Beluga, the other one, the fully painted one. But this is a really good model, so I would suggest it, and I would buy it. So I will be purchasing this one along with the other Airbus Beluga. Now moving on to this United, first of all, now moving on to the 1 to 200 scale. Now we're moving on to this United Airlines Boeing 757-200 in the Evolution Blue with the upgraded winglets. This guy's honestly a pretty good model. Like I said, I do love the Evo Blue models, and I really am looking forward to getting some more 1 to 200 scale aircraft models. But like I said, the first one would have to be either a Caribbean Airlines model or a Canadian airline model. So probably like Air Canada, Porter, Sunwing, Swoop, WestJet, Air Transat. Actually, I've kind of lost respect for WestJet after they took away Swoop Airlines. So probably not WestJet. But yeah, this is a really good model. I would suggest it, and I definitely would buy it. Now moving on to this British Airways 757-200 in the Landor livery. This guy is actually a pretty good aircraft if you are looking for retros. I'm not really into retros that much, but I am kind of into them. I plan on getting some Aero Classic models. Once in a while change it. Once in a while, like have enough models to, once in a while change my airport into like a 1980s airport kind of thing. But yeah, this would be a really good model for retro collectors. I would recommend it for retro collectors. I probably won't be buying it. I mean, maybe if it was in 1 to 400 scale, I would. But since it's in 1 to 200 scale, I wouldn't. But it's still a very good model, and I would recommend. Now moving on to this Air China 757-200. Like I said, this is also if you are looking for retro models. Now, as much as this doesn't look retro, as this looks like the exact same livery for their modern aircraft, it actually is. So I would still call it a retro. I would just say if you're more looking for the 2000s type of aircraft, so 2000, 2001, 2002, 1999, those type of aircrafts, those type of retro models, I would recommend this model. It's a pretty good one. I probably won't be buying it, but yeah, it's a pretty good model, and I honestly would recommend it. Now moving on to this Air Wisconsin CRJ 200LR in the retro color scheme. This guy is not a bad model. It's a pretty good model, and this guy also operates a Pearson. I do want to get a 1 to 200 Bombardier or Embraer aircraft, more so Bombardier. This is a really, really good aircraft. I would recommend it. That looks really good. Not a bad aircraft. So this guy flies Pearson, so it's really good. Like I said, I would recommend it. Probably wouldn't purchase it, but I would recommend it. Now moving on to this Alma de Mexico. This guy is the Alma de Mexico CRJ 200 ER. This guy's honestly really good. Honestly, I don't really love the airline. It's not a bad airline. I would say it's honestly pretty decent airline. Not bad. I wouldn't buy it. I wouldn't recommend it either. But I mean, if you are doing a Mexican type 1 to 200 scale airport, I definitely would recommend this model. Now moving on to this Kendall Airlines CRJ 200ER. This guy is in the city of Lawrencetown. This guy honestly isn't a bad aircraft. Isn't a bad airline. I'm not that familiar with the airline. I've heard of the airline, just not that familiar. Their aircraft actually kind of looks pretty good. The tail actually makes it look good because the rest of the aircraft is kind of boring because the engines are plain white. The fuselage is plain white. I mean, at least the winglets aren't white, but still, it's also probably Euro white, so it's like bright white. So I wouldn't really recommend it, but it's not a bad release. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, it's not a bad release, and I wouldn't recommend it. I probably would recommend it, but I wouldn't buy it. Like if someone asked for my opinion on it, I wouldn't 100% recommend it. But it isn't a bad aircraft or a bad model. Now moving on to this Chengdu Airlines, ARJ 21-700 in the Jinsha color scheme. Honestly, I'm not familiar with this airline at all, but the livery is just what makes it look amazing. It makes the airline just look better. I definitely would buy a model that looks like this because it just looks nice and vibrant and contrasted. So this is a very good model, and as much as I'm not familiar with the airline, I definitely would recommend it because it honestly looks like a good aircraft. Looks like a good livery. Just the fact that the aircraft is practically a ripoff of the 717. But yeah, it's pretty good model. Now moving on to the Yangshi era, ARJ 21-700. This guy, honestly, I mean, there's not really much to say. It's just pretty much just the blue tail, the airline titles, and just the little design on the winglet. So there's not much to say with this aircraft. I mean, I wouldn't really recommend it because it's not really a heard of airline, not really a known or rare airline, and there's not really much to the aircraft design. So I probably would not recommend this aircraft. It's not bad, but it's not the best. Yeah, so I wouldn't recommend this aircraft, but honestly, some people might have heard of this airline or probably fly on the airline. But for me, I don't really know it, so I wouldn't recommend it. So that is the conclusion of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Now this will probably be the last video because you guys are now. This video has now been posted on Friday or Saturday. I'm not 100% sure. One of those days, most likely Friday. So you probably won't get another video on my channel until after the 29th, because that's when I come back from vacation. I will do a video there when I am in Punta. I'll do a video of me in Punta Cana, and I will do a video of the flight review, a flight vlog, all that good stuff. So make sure to go check out that video once it is posted. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. These are some really good releases. Cannot wait to get them. But yeah, like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'm going to see you guys in the next video. Bye.